So over here we have a demo area where they're showing off some of the different games and applications that take advantage of the new remote's wireless control system, which includes accelerometers, touchpad, a Bluetooth remote. You can see him twisting his wrist, uses accelerometer and gyroscope to sense the position of the hand. There's also a touchpad on top that he can use to control, and there are physical buttons lower on the remote. Remotes can be used vertically or horizontally to control games with different control schemes. In addition to the Bluetooth remote that comes with the device, which is charged with a lightning connector, there are also a series of game pads that are being produced. And those game pads will be available later on this year for shooters and more complex games. And those would allow developers to create games that would previously be available on console only. Obviously, super hardcore gamers are still going to want the incredibly powerful graphics processors in consoles, but as far as casual gamers or even kind of mildly complex games, this should provide them with an additional outlet for those kinds of games. So developers will be, of course, taking advantage of that. The remote also takes the interface, and you can see on the screen now that the interface is controlled by the remote. If you use the remote touchpad, you can scroll through the different icons on the screen. They also react to the motion of the finger on the remote. You'll see like some of the movie posters tilting and moving in 3D as he moves through the interface. So that interface is all new, brand new interface that Apple created to take advantage of the motion controls on the remote. You have the ability to kind of move it around with your finger, to kind of tilt and pan these movie posters. And those effects, those 3D effects, are kind of spread out throughout the entire system. Of course, the entire thing is Siri activated, so there's a microphone in your remote which you can use to issue commands and ask the Apple TV to do different things, like, for instance, ask for comedy movies from the 80s, or limit those only to John Hughes movies, movies directed by John Hughes or written by John Hughes. The Apple TV has the same ports as the old TV, HDMI, Ethernet, that sort of thing. No USB port though, which is interesting, but it's also much more powerful because it's plugged in. The A8 chip can operate at full blast, providing much more graphic processing power than, say, an iPhone with an A8 or an iPad with an A8 in it would. And that powers console games and, of course, the new interface.